The exploration ship Aurora's Light floated silently in the dark of space, far beyond the orbit of Mars. Its mission was unusual compared to other missions of the United Earth Fleet. Instead of searching for new resources, planets, or colonies, the ship was tasked with something more symbolic, sending humanity's voice out into the unknown. For the last 50 years, Earth had dreamed of meeting alien life. Scientists agreed that communication was the key. That was why Aurora's Light carried the Cultural Transmission Beacon, a device designed to send samples of human art, history, and language into the cosmos. If another civilization existed, the hope was that they might understand or at least notice humanity's attempt to reach out. The project was led by Dr. Eleanor Weiss, a linguist and cultural historian. She was calm, focused, and believed that humanity's first impression should be dignified and inspiring. That was why she carefully chose the transmission schedule: Beethoven symphonies, Shakespeare plays, famous speeches, and simple mathematical greetings. The crew respected her vision. Well, most of them did. The mischief begins. Among the younger crew members was Liam Carter, a communications officer in his late 20s. He was brilliant with technology but had a playful side. To him, the mission felt too formal, too cautious. Humanity was not just math and polite music, he thought. Humanity was fire, chaos, laughter, and passion. So when Dr. Weiss wasn't looking, Liam uploaded something extra into the cultural database. It was a recording from one of Earth's largest music festivals, a live heavy metal concert, complete with screaming guitars, thunderous drums, and a roaring crowd of 50,000 fans. Liam grinned to himself. "If aliens are out there, let them hear this," he whispered. "Let them know humans can make the universe shake." He never told anyone what he had done. He assumed the recording would just be buried among hundreds of hours of cultural material. Probably no one, alien or human, would ever notice. The transmission. The beacon began its broadcast. Day after day, signals pulsed out into the void. Symphonies of Mozart echoed through star systems. Mathematical codes explained the periodic table. Images of Earth's landscapes, cities, and people stretched across the galaxy as streams of radio light. Dr. Weiss was proud. "If anyone is listening," she told the captain, "they will know we are a species of thought, art, and reason." But, weeks later, something unexpected happened. The response began as a faint signal detected on the ship's long-range receivers. At first, the crew thought it was background noise or a reflection from some distant star. But the pattern grew stronger. Deliberate, structured. Someone or something was answering. The crew rushed to the control deck. The captain, Marcus Hale, stood firm at the center, watching the monitors. "Is it really a response?" he asked. Dr. Weiss adjusted her headset, heart racing. "It's not natural. The rhythm is too precise. It's a reply." The message was complex, layered with tones no human ear could naturally hear. The ship's computers translated the sound into visual waves, showing geometric shapes that shifted and pulsed in time. For hours, the aliens repeated the same strange signal, as if demanding something. Dr. Weiss frowned. "They're referencing something, but it's not the math and it's not the symphonies. The structure doesn't match anything I sent." A quiet laugh came from Liam at the back of the room. He suddenly felt a knot in his stomach. He remembered the heavy metal track. He had secretly added, "Could it be?" No, it was impossible. But when the computer ran the comparison, the truth appeared on the screen. The alien reply matched the rhythm and energy of the heavy metal recording. The room fell silent. Confusion on board. They responded to, "That? Doctor," Weiss's voice trembled. "Out of everything we sent? Mathematics, art, language, they chose the noise?" "It's not noise," Liam muttered under his breath. "It's music. It's power." Captain Hale rubbed his forehead. "Are you telling me these aliens ignored centuries of human culture and instead locked onto electric guitars and shouting?" The computers confirmed it. The aliens weren't just imitating the sound. They were amplifying it, sending back their own version. The reply was wild, chaotic, like someone trying to scream back with a voice they had never used before. Perhaps it means something to them, Dr. Weiss admitted reluctantly. Perhaps the intensity resonates with their biology. Or perhaps, Liam thought, they just liked it. The arrival, 2 weeks later, the universe gave them an even bigger surprise. Long-range scanners picked up movement, an entire fleet of alien vessels traveling fast and directly toward the Aurora's light. Panic spread through the crew. "They're coming here?" one officer gasped. "They heard us," Dr. Weiss said, softly, "and they're answering in person." The captain called for calm. "We stay ready. No weapons unless necessary. We came for peace. We will show peace." But deep down, everyone feared the same thing. What if the aliens had misunderstood? What if they thought heavy metal was not art but a challenge or a call to war? First contact. The alien ships arrived like giants of steel and crystal, glittering in strange colors against the void. Their designs were unlike anything human eyes had seen. Organic curves mixed with mechanical strength, glowing with living light. The largest ship moved close, and a voice thundered across the communication channels. It wasn't speech in the human sense. It was a resonance, a layered vibration, that rattled the very bones of the crew. The computers translated as best they could. "Children of noise, sing again. The hymn of fire. We demand it." The crew stared at one another in shock. "They want more music?" whispered one technician. Dr. Weiss's hands shook. "Not just music. They believe it is a hymn, a sacred call." Liam swallowed, hard. He couldn't stay silent any longer. "I might have uploaded a heavy metal track into the beacon." All eyes turned to him. "You did what?" Dr. Weiss's voice cracked like glass. "I wanted them to hear the full spirit of humanity." Liam defended himself. "Not just calm music and polite speeches. Metal is raw. It's passion. It's power. It's who we are too." The captain glared but had no time to argue. The aliens repeated their demand, louder this time, shaking the ship. The demonstration. With no other choice, the crew prepared the recording. The alien fleet waited in silence, their glowing vessels surrounding the human ship like predators, or perhaps like an audience before a stage. The speakers engaged. The recording began. The sound of distorted guitars, rapid drums, and roaring vocals exploded across the communication link. The alien ships lit up instantly. Their hulls vibrated, colors flashing wildly as if they were resonating with the sound itself. Some ships released streams of light, others unleashed booming echoes that seemed like their own attempt at drumming. The humans watched in awe. The aliens weren't attacking. They were performing. "They're harmonizing with it," Dr. Weiss realized. "They're trying to join the music." The crew felt the ship shake as the alien fleet created a strange, chaotic symphony in response. It was not beautiful in the traditional sense, but it was alive, powerful, and undeniable. A dangerous misunderstanding. As the performance ended, the lead alien ship sent another translated message. "Children of noise. Your weapon shakes the stars. Teach us to wield it." Dr. Weiss went pale. "Weapon? They think it's a weapon." The crew realized the truth. To the aliens, heavy metal was not entertainment. It was a force, a call to strength, maybe even a signal of battle. Humanity had not just introduced music to the galaxy. They had introduced something that could be mistaken for war. Liam felt both pride and fear. Pride because humanity had impressed them. Fear because he had no idea what chain of events he had just set in motion. Captain Hale stood tall. "Send a message back. Tell them it is not a weapon. It is art. It is how we express ourselves." But the aliens did not seem convinced. Their ships pulsed again, demanding another song, demanding the humans show them how to use this strange weapon of sound. And for the first time, the crew of Aurora's Light realized they might have opened a door they could not close. The command deck of the Aurora's Light was silent, except for the faint hum of machines. Every crew member sat frozen, staring at the glowing alien ships outside the viewport. The first contact with extraterrestrial life had not gone as planned. Instead of admiring human poetry or mathematics, the aliens wanted heavy metal music, again and again. And worse, they thought it was some kind of powerful weapon. Captain Marcus Hale felt the weight of the situation pressing on his shoulders. He had commanded missions across the solar system, but nothing had ever prepared him for this. "They believe our music is a weapon," he repeated in a low voice, almost as if saying it would make it less absurd. Dr. Eleanor Weiss adjusted her glasses, her mind racing. "They are not joking, Captain. Look at their reaction. When the music played, their ships resonated, their hulls glowed, and they moved in synchronization. To them, the energy of heavy metal is not simply noise, it is transformative." Liam Carter, the young communications officer responsible for slipping the music into the beacon, shifted uncomfortably in his seat. He had imagined aliens smiling, or clapping their strange hands to the beat, not mistaking the music for some kind of galactic battle hymn. Now, guilt twisted inside him, though a part of him was still thrilled at what he had unleashed. The aliens spoke again through deep vibrations that rattled the deck plates. The translator worked quickly, forming jagged words on the main screen. "Children of noise. Show us the weapon. Show us how to use it. The alien physiology." Before the captain could respond, the science officer, Dr. Keon Park, spoke with urgency. He had been analyzing the alien signals and energy readings during the performance. "Captain, you must see this. When the music played, their bioenergetic levels spiked dramatically. Their ships are not only machines, they are living extensions of themselves. The vibrations of our music, they change their biology. It's as if the sound unlocked hidden strength inside them." He brought up a holographic display. The readings showed that the aliens, later identified as the Vorkai, produced bursts of energy when exposed to heavy metal frequencies. Their cells glowed brighter, their muscles contracted with more force, and their neural activity exploded into chaotic patterns. Dr. Weiss placed a hand on her chin and on. "To them, music is not art. It is transformation. It changes who they are, perhaps even weaponizes their bodies." The crew murmured among themselves. It was both fascinating and terrifying. The first demonstration, suddenly, the Vorkai flagship sent a message. "Demonstrate again, louder." The captain hesitated. "If we do this and they grow even stronger, what happens when they turn that strength against us?" Dr. Weiss countered softly. "And if we refuse, they may think we are hiding power or worse, insulting them." After a long pause, Hale gave the order. "Play it again, but this time, keep the power low." Liam selected a shorter recording, still metal, but not as overwhelming as before. The speakers pulsed. The familiar roar of guitars and drums filled the void of space. The alien fleet erupted with light. Their ships shuddered as though alive, sending waves of bioluminescent patterns across their surfaces. The Vorkai themselves appeared on the screens for the first time. Towering beings with translucent skin, glowing veins, and sharp, crystalline crests on their heads. As the music built, the aliens began to shake and roar in their own deep tones. Their bodies swelled with energy. Some even smashed their armored fists against the walls of their chambers, causing sparks to fly. The humans watched in awe and fear. "They're losing control," Dr. Park whispered. Indeed, one alien ship accidentally collided with another as both surged forward, overwhelmed by the rhythm. The Vorkai seemed unable to contain themselves. To them, heavy metal was not just sound, it was ignition. The dangerous frenzy. When the song ended, chaos lingered. The aliens struggled to calm down, their ships releasing bursts of radiation. Finally, the Vorkai leader spoke again. "Yes, this is the weapon of fury. Teach us, give us more." Captain Hale shook his head. "Tell them it is not a weapon. Tell them it is expression, art." Dr. Weiss quickly tapped commands into the translator. The message was sent. "It is not a weapon. It is music. We use it for expression, not destruction." The reply came instantly, vibrating with impatience. Your words are false. We felt its fire. We became more. You hide its true nature. The crew exchanged worried glances. This misunderstanding was growing dangerous. The debate among humans. Later, in the briefing room, the senior officers gathered to discuss their next move. This is a disaster, Dr. Weiss said sharply, glaring at Liam. Your reckless decision to add that recording may have started an interstellar conflict. Liam defended himself. Or maybe it saved us. Think about it. They didn't attack us. They came because they were drawn to the music. They want more of it. That gives us leverage. Leverage? Weiss snapped. You mean addiction? We cannot control what they become when exposed to this. Did you see them? They almost destroyed themselves just now. Dr. Park added carefully. It is possible that this frenzy is part of their natural state. Perhaps they evolved to respond to vibrations as a survival tool. What to us is music, to them may be a biological trigger. The captain sat silently for a moment, then finally spoke. We must walk carefully. We cannot risk teaching them to misuse our culture. But we also cannot ignore that they are fixated on us now. Whatever this is, humanity has become central to it. Alien curiosity over. The following days the Vorkai did not leave. Instead they shadowed the Aurora's light, demanding more performances. Sometimes they asked for louder songs. Sometimes they tried to mimic the rhythms themselves, producing booming echoes from their own ships. The crew began to notice a pattern. Whenever the music played, the Vorkai grew more restless, more energetic, and more unpredictable. Without it, they became almost dull, slow, and calm. It's like we've given them a new kind of fuel, Dr. Park observed. Heavy metal is their spark. But this new dependency worried Dr. Weiss. If other alien species learn of this, they may see us as dangerous manipulators. Imagine what happens if the Vorkai spread this chaos across the galaxy. Liam, however, was secretly fascinated. He began experimenting with different tracks, slower metal, instrumental sections, and even softer rock, to see how the Vorkai responded. Sometimes they grew calmer, sometimes angrier, but always they reacted with intensity. He couldn't help but feel a strange pride. Humanity had accidentally discovered a universal force, something no one else had achieved. The message to Earth Captain Hale finally sent a long report back to Earth. He explained that humanity had made first contact, but the situation was complicated. The aliens had misunderstood human music as a weapon and were demanding more of it. The United Earth Council replied with alarm. Under no circumstances are you to provide them with more material until we understand the consequences. Avoid escalation. Do not spread cultural contamination. But it was already too late. The Vorkai refused to let the Aurora's light leave. Their ships surrounded the humans like an audience that would not allow a performer to exit the stage. You will give us more, the Vorkai leader said, or you will not leave. The turning point on the fifth day, something dramatic happened. Without warning, the Vorkai began transmitting the heavy metal recording across space themselves. They had copied it and were broadcasting it to unknown destinations. The crew was horrified. They're spreading it, Dr. Weiss gasped. To other species, to other systems. They're unleashing it on the galaxy. Captain Hale clenched his fists. They don't understand what they're doing. To them, it's a gift. But to others, it could look like a declaration of war. The Vorkai leader appeared again, on the screen. His crystalline crest glowed bright as his voice boomed through the translator. Children of noise, your gift awakens us. The stars will know your power. Together, we will shake the galaxy. The Aurora's light floated like a small spark in the middle of a storm. Around it, the Vorkai fleet pulsed with light as they continued blasting the human heavy metal recording across the stars. Their ships became living amplifiers, their crystal hulls shaking with every echo of guitars and drums. On the command deck, Captain Marcus Hale stood with his hands behind his back, his eyes locked on the screens. They've turned our music into a beacon, he said quietly. Anyone within light years will hear it. Dr. Eleanor Weiss's voice was sharp. And anyone who hears it may believe humanity is declaring war. This is spiraling out of control. Liam Carter, the young officer who had started it all, felt his stomach twist. He had wanted the aliens to understand humanity's passion, not to spread it like wildfire. Maybe it won't be so bad, he said softly. Maybe others will enjoy it too. Dr. Weiss turned to him, her eyes filled with warning. Or maybe others will fear it. Music that shakes bodies and triggers chaos. To peaceful species, it may look like madness. No one disagreed. The problem was simple. It was too late. The signal had already gone. First reactions in the galaxy. Within weeks, transmissions from distant systems began to arrive. At first, they were confused messages, questions, warnings, and demands for explanation. One came from the Solari, a calm and scholarly species known for their love of harmony. Their leaders' translated words appeared on the main screen. Humans, we received your signal. It burns our minds. Why do you call us to fury? Why do you send war music? Another message arrived from the Tauric clans, a warrior race who fought ritual battles to prove honor. Their reply was very different. Humans, we hear your challenge. The rhythm of your war hymn is strong. We will march with you. Tell us where the battle begins. The crew of Aurora's Light listened in horror as more and more replies poured in. Some were frightened. Others were excited. But all misunderstood. They think it's either a call to war or a threat, Dr. Weiss said grimly. We are losing control of the narrative. Captain Hale nodded. We must send clarification immediately. Attempts to clarify. The humans began broadcasting messages across the same channels. They explained again and again, it is not a weapon. It is not a call to war. It is music, human culture, human art. But many species did not believe them. The sound was too powerful, too wild. The Solari dismissed the explanation as lies. The Tauric ignored it completely, already preparing their armies for what they believed would be the greatest galactic war. Even neutral traders and merchants across the galaxy began arguing about the humans. Rumors spread like fire. The children of Earth wield sound that can drive warriors mad. The humans sing storms. The humans shout thunder. And wherever the Vorkai carried the recordings, chaos followed. The arena incident, the first true disaster, happened on the planet Rylothar, home to a massive gladiatorial arena where different species competed in non-lethal contests of strength and skill. The Vorkai arrived there carrying the recording and played it before a match. The results shocked everyone. The peaceful games dissolved instantly into a frenzy. Competitors who normally fought with restraint suddenly tore into each other with uncontrollable energy. The crowd joined in, shouting, stomping, and vibrating until the arena itself cracked. News spread instantly. Human sound can turn order into chaos. Dr. Weiss read the report with her head in her hands. This is exactly what I feared. Our music is being treated as a catalyst for destruction. But Liam's eyes were wide, not with fear but with wonder. Don't you see? This proves it. Heavy metal connects to something deep, something universal. It speaks to them in ways we don't even understand. The captain silenced him with a stern look. And if it leads to war, Carter, will you still celebrate? Liam had no answer. Splits among the Vorkai. Meanwhile, the Vorkai themselves were changing. At first they had been united in their fascination with heavy metal, but now different factions were forming. Some saw the music as a path to glory. They called themselves the Flame Choir, warriors who believed humans had gifted them with the ultimate battle hymn. Others, however, were frightened by the uncontrollable frenzy it caused. They feared that their people would lose control of themselves. This group, the Silent Order, argued that the music should be studied carefully, not spread wildly. These divisions turned into open arguments between Vorkai fleets. Sometimes their disputes nearly erupted into combat, ironically fueled by the very sound they argued about. The humans watched nervously. We've lit a fire inside their civilization, Dr. Park observed, and now they are burning themselves with it. The United Earth Council responds back on Earth, The council was furious. Official messages reached Aurora's Light with strict orders. You are to cease all transmissions immediately. You are not to share any further recordings. Humanity must not be the cause of destabilization across the galaxy. But the problem was that the recordings were already out there. The Vorkai had copied them, amplified them, and distributed them across dozens of systems. Even if the humans stopped now, the wave could not be recalled. Captain Hale sighed as he read the council's orders. They don't understand. We've already lost control. The galaxy is hearing us whether we want it or not. Strange knew. Hughes' reports began arriving of stranger incidents. On the mining world of Credosis, workers discovered that blasting heavy metal through the tunnels increased their strength and speed, allowing them to extract minerals faster. Unfortunately, it also made them reckless, leading to cave-ins. On the peaceful gardens of Tira Lin, a species of insect-like aliens accidentally broadcast the music during a ritual planting. The sound caused their delicate pollinators to swarm, wildly, ruining entire fields. And on the Tauric homeworld, soldiers began marching into battle with heavy metal as their war anthem. The clashes between clans became louder, bloodier, and far more destructive. Everywhere the humans' gift spread, order collapsed into frenzy. Growing fierce soon, whispers began in galactic councils. The humans are dangerous. The humans have weaponized sound. The humans cannot be trusted. Dr. Weiss could see it clearly. Humanity was becoming infamous before it even had a chance to join galactic society. We must act quickly, she told the captain. If we do nothing, we will be seen as a threat to peace itself. But Hale looked out at the stars, troubled. And what do you suggest? We cannot unmake what has been done. The sound is out there, and the galaxy will not forget it. Liam's idea in the middle of this crisis, Liam Carter made a bold proposal. What if we show them ourselves? Not recordings, not broadcasts, but us, a live performance. Let them see that heavy metal isn't just fury. It's also unity, creativity, and art. The others stared at him. Dr. Weiss frowned. You want to perform? In front of them? Yes, Liam said firmly. They only know the sound. They don't know the human faces behind it. They don't understand that it's not a weapon. It's emotion. If we show them a human band, maybe they'll see the difference. The captain considered it. The idea was risky. But at this point, almost everything was risky. Prepare a plan, he said at last. We may not have another choice. The Yauquar, spiral of chaos, but while the humans debated, the galaxy continued to unravel. The Vorkai Flame Choir declared that they would travel to the Torak clans and share the music of war. They promised to unite their species under the hymn of fire. The Silent Order warned that such actions would bring disaster, but their voices were drowned out, literally, by the pounding of heavy metal across their systems. The Solari scholars begged humanity to stop, claiming that the sound was destroying the minds of their people. Trade networks faltered. Alliances cracked. Everywhere the phrase spread like wildfire. The humans sing storms. A dangerous invitation. Then, one day, a message arrived unlike any before. It was from a coalition of alien leaders, calling for a meeting. The words were simple. Humans, you will appear before us. You will explain this power, or you will be banished from the stars. The crew of the Aurora's Light exchanged uneasy glances. Dr. Weiss whispered, "This is it. We must prove to them what music truly is, or humanity will be feared forever." Captain Hale gave a slow nod. "Then we accept. But we will not go alone. We will bring with us the only thing they truly want." Liam smiled, though nervousness flickered in his eyes. "A band," the captain corrected him with a heavy sigh. "Not just a band. Humanity's loudest, wildest, most unforgettable performance." The Aurora's Light drifted in orbit above a neutral star system chosen by the coalition of alien leaders. Around the human ship, hundreds of alien vessels formed a circle like a massive arena in space. Lights glowed, weapons shimmered, and signals flashed across the void. Every eye in the galaxy seemed to be watching. Captain Marcus Hale stood at the front of the command deck, his jaw tight. This is it, the moment that will decide how the galaxy sees us, for peace or for chaos. Doctor, Eleanor Weiss paced nervously. If this goes wrong, humanity will be marked as dangerous forever. Liam Carter, despite the tension, felt a spark of excitement. Or, he said with a small grin, we'll change everything. We'll show them that heavy metal isn't a weapon. It's art. It's human spirit. The captain turned. And, you're sure this band will be ready? They're not just ready, Liam said with pride. They're legends. Preparing the stage, the Council on Earth had been reluctant, but eventually they agreed to send one of humanity's most famous heavy metal bands, Iron Tempest, to the Aurora's light. The band members were veterans of massive concerts back home, where they had played before crowds of thousands. But never had they imagined an audience of alien civilizations. The band arrived with their instruments, amplifiers, and even stage equipment. The ship's hangar was converted into a performance hall complete with lights and sound systems. Engineers worked day and night, connecting cables, testing amplifiers, and ensuring the vibrations would transmit through the ship's communication array. The aliens had demanded proof, and this would be it, a live concert in space. As the crew prepared, the alien coalition sent strict instructions. The humans were to demonstrate their weapon of sound, but under supervision. They were not to hide its true nature. Dr. Weiss sighed as she read the message. They still believe it's a weapon. No matter what we say, only the performance will convince them otherwise. The arrival of the audience. At last, the day came. The hangar of the Aurora's light was filled with humans and alien representatives. Some alien species were present in person, while others appeared as shimmering holograms projected from their ships. The Vorkai Flame Choir sat closest to the stage, their crystalline bodies glowing with excitement. Across from them, the silent order looked grim, their colors dim. The Solari representatives covered their heads with delicate hoods as if afraid the music would shatter their calm minds. The Torak warriors, in contrast, stamped their heavy feet, eager for what they thought was the beginning of a war march. The tension was thick, and silence filled the room. Then Captain Hale stepped forward. We thank you for allowing us to speak and to perform. Humanity does not come with weapons. We come with culture, with creativity, with music. What you will hear today is not a call to war. It is an expression of who we are. He paused, letting the translator repeat his words into dozens of alien tongues. Then he nodded to Liam. Liam gave a signal to the band. The lights dimmed. The stage came alive. The first notes Iron Tempest took their positions. 2 guitarists, a drummer, a bassist, and a lead singer with a voice like thunder. Their instruments hummed with power. The first guitar riff sliced through the silence, sharp and electric. The drums followed, pounding like the heartbeat of a giant. At once, the Vorkai erupted in light, their bodies resonating with the rhythm. The Torak roared with approval, slamming their weapons against the ground in time with the beat. But the Solari winced, their delicate forms trembling. The silent order remained still, watching closely. The music built and built, growing louder, faster and more alive. The hangar shook, not with fear but with energy, and then the singer's voice rose, roaring, powerful but not hateful. The words were simple, translated instantly into alien tongues. We are not your enemies. We are not your masters. We are children of fire, singing to the stars. Alien reactions. The effect was immediate. The Vorkai leaned forward, glowing, brighter than ever. But instead of smashing their fists or losing control, they swayed together, moving with the rhythm. The Torak, though eager for battle, began to chant along, their deep voices mixing with the music. The Solari, to everyone's surprise, slowly lifted their hoods. Their faces were calm now, their eyes wide. For the first time, they seemed curious, instead of fearful. Dr. Weiss whispered, amazed. They're listening. They're feeling the meaning, not just the power. The band shifted into a slower section of the song, the guitars gentle, the drums steady. The heavy chaos transformed into something melodic, almost beautiful. The aliens grew quiet, watching, listening. When the chorus returned, the singer stretched out his arms, his voice echoing through the hall. This is not a weapon. This is a gift. This is humanity. The turning point. The Vorkai Flame Choir, once the most aggressive supporters of the weapon theory, now rose to their feet. Instead of roaring wildly, they joined their voices with the song, producing deep, resonant tones that harmonized with the band. The silent order followed, their colors brightening as they added their own low hum. Even the Solari began to hum softly, their natural resonance blending into the mix. The hangar filled with a strange, beautiful union, human instruments mixed with alien voices, creating a sound no one had ever heard before. Dr. Park whispered, in awe, "They're not fighting, they're performing together." The captain nodded slowly. "This is it, this is the proof." The final song after. The first piece ended. The band launched into one final performance, an anthem they had written specially for this moment. The lyrics spoke of unity, of different voices joining as one. The music began with soft tones, then built into thunderous strength. Instead of chaos, it was harmony through power. The aliens responded like never before. The Vorkai glowed so bright they lit the entire hangar. The Tauric banged their weapons in rhythm but not in violence, only in joy. The Solari closed their eyes, their delicate hands raised in wonder. For the first time since the chaos began, the galaxy was not divided by the sound. They were united. When the final note rang out, silence followed. A deep, complete silence. Then slowly the alien audience began to roar, not in fury, but in applause. Lights flashed, voices boomed, ships outside pulsed in rhythm. The galaxy had just witnessed something new, not a weapon, not a call to war, but the birth of interstellar music. After the concert, the alien coalition leaders stepped forward. The Vorkai leader's crest glowed bright as he spoke. "Children of noise, you have shown us truth. It is not only fire, it is creation. We understand now." The Solari scholar bowed gently. "Though it shakes us, we see it is not meant for harm. We will study it as art." Even the Torek, still excited, admitted, "We thought it was war, but it is greater. It is spirit. We respect it." Dr. Weiss's shoulders sagged with relief. They understand. Finally, they understand. "Captain." Hale turned to Liam, a faint smile breaking his stern expression. "You were reckless, Carter, but maybe you were right." Liam grinned, his eyes bright. "I told you. Music speaks louder than words." The decision, in the end, the coalition did not ban humanity. Instead, they invited humans to share more of their culture under careful guidance. But more importantly, they asked for cooperation. They wanted humans to perform with them, to mix instruments and voices, to create something entirely new. It was not a trial anymore. It was the beginning of a cultural exchange unlike any in history. The galaxy had been afraid of humanity. Now they were curious, inspired, and, strangely, fans. A new legacy. As the Aurora's light prepared to leave the system, the crew looked out at the alien fleet still glowing with the echoes of the performance. Dr. Weiss shook her head in wonder. "I never thought heavy metal would be the bridge to the stars." Captain Hale chuckled softly. "Neither did I. But history rarely follows the plans of scholars." Liam leaned back in his chair, a satisfied smile on his face. "We didn't just play music. We made history. And this is only the beginning." The ship turned toward Earth, carrying with it the story of a concert that had shaken the galaxy and started a new age where chaos became creation. Months after the historic concert aboard the Aurora's light, the echoes of human heavy metal still rippled across star systems. Alien species who once feared humanity now spoke of it with awe, curiosity, and even admiration. But more than admiration, they felt something new: inspiration. Captain Marcus Hale watched the starfield from the command deck. The Aurora's light was on its way back to Earth, carrying not only its human crew, but also the stories, reactions, and invitations of dozens of alien civilizations. Dr. Eleanor Weiss stood beside him, a gentle smile on her face. "I never imagined it would end like this," she said softly. "A single genre of music, loud, chaotic, reckless, bringing the galaxy together." Liam Carter leaned against the railing, strumming an imaginary guitar. "I told you, Dr. Weiss. Music speaks louder than diplomacy." Hale shook his head, chuckling. "You were reckless, Carter. And lucky. Humanity is lucky." Cultural exchange on the planets and starships where the concert had been broadcast. Alien musicians began experimenting. They took the ideas of heavy metal and mixed them with their own instruments, their own sounds, and their own cultures. The Vorkai, once feared for their uncontrollable power, became ambassadors of rhythm. They developed instruments that mimicked, their glowing, vibrating bodies creating music that shook buildings without harming anyone. The Silent Order became teachers of discipline, showing how chaos could be controlled to produce beauty. The Torak warriors, who had once seen the music as a call to battle, now held interstellar competitions of performance, rather than combat. They measured skill, endurance, and creativity instead of violence. Even the Solari, who had feared the sound at first, started small choirs that carefully blended human melodies with their own delicate harmonics. Their gardens filled with sound and light, creating breathtaking shows of music that connected species who had never met before. Dr. Weiss sighed with relief. "It seems that what we feared would be destruction has become creation instead." Humanity's reputation on Earth, the story of the heavy metal incident, spread quickly. Newspapers, hollow broadcasts, and even educational programs told the story of how humans had inadvertently shaken the galaxy, literally, and then tamed that chaos with art. For the first time, humanity was known not only as a species of science and industry, but also as a species of culture, boldness, and creativity. The council celebrated the crew of the Aurora's light, giving medals, promotions, and honors. But more importantly, humanity had earned something far greater: respect from the galaxy. Dr. Weiss reflected on the irony. "We feared that they would see us as dangerous. Instead, they see us as teachers," Captain Hale added, "and perhaps as friends. It's not power that earns respect, Eleanor. It's courage and the ability to share who you truly are." Liam, of course, could not help himself. And maybe a little bit of chaos. The first Galactic Music Festival, the Alien Coalition decided to host the first Interstellar Music Festival, a celebration of the collaboration that had begun with the Aurora's light. Bands from dozens of species participated. The Vorkai performed with human-style guitars, their crystal fingers creating sounds no human hand could achieve. The Torak drummers played massive percussion that echoed across space. The Solari created floating harmonics, delicate tones, that danced with light like ribbons. Iron Tempest, humanity's legendary band, took the final stage. The stadium, an orbital ring around a neutral star, was filled with tens of thousands of aliens, humans, and hybrid audiences. When the band struck the first chord, the aliens erupted in celebration. The sound was no longer feared. It was understood. It was shared. New discoveries. The music itself led to discoveries that no science mission had predicted. The vibrations of heavy metal, when blended with alien resonance, produced temporary effects that improved energy flow in ships, enhanced communication networks, and even healed minor injuries among some species. Scientists studied it carefully, naming it resonance therapy, a direct result of human culture spreading across the stars. Children of many species began learning human instruments. Schools offered courses in earth music, not for war, not for politics, but for the joy of creation. Liam grinned when he heard the news. "We accidentally invented interstellar music therapy," he said proudly, "and everyone thought I was just playing a joke on the aliens." Dr. Weiss laughed. "Sometimes the most reckless actions yield the greatest rewards. The Vorkai and humanity. The Vorkai, once chaotic and intimidating, became close allies of humanity. Their flame choir and silent order merged into a single council that worked with humans to teach music diplomacy. They used the lessons of heavy metal to negotiate disputes, calm conflicts, and inspire cooperation. Captain Hale attended one of their first joint sessions. He watched as humans and Vorkai created new music together, a blend of electric guitars, deep vocal harmonics, and glowing energy pulses. It was stunning. It was alive. And it was peaceful. Dr. Weiss whispered, "They once thought it was a weapon. Now it's a bridge." Hale nodded. "We didn't just survive the misunderstanding, we transformed it." Legacy across the galaxy years passed, and humanity's influence grew. Heavy metal was no longer just a human genre. It had become a universal language. Alien bands toured planets, sharing the style and its message of energy, emotion, and unity. Festivals were held in every corner of explored space. The music brought diverse species together, teaching them to cooperate and create rather than fight. Even planets that had previously been isolationist began opening their doors. Humans were invited to participate in councils, celebrations, and research programs. Liam Carter, now a senior officer in cultural outreach, laughed one day while teaching alien children to play guitar. Who would have thought that loud guitars and screaming vocals could unite the galaxy? Dr. Weiss smiled. It's proof that sometimes the simplest, rawest forms of expression are the most powerful. Reflection. Captain Hale stood on the bridge of a newly commissioned exploration vessel, watching stars streak by as they traveled to a distant system. The galaxy was vast, filled with unknown species and uncharted planets. "Do you ever think," Dr. Weiss asked, "that it all started with a single reckless act?" Hale nodded slowly. "I do, but that act showed who we are. Humans are bold, curious, and sometimes loud, but we are also capable of creating wonder, even from chaos." Liam, strumming a tiny practice guitar, grinned. "So basically, heavy metal saved humanity's reputation." Hale laughed softly. "Yes, but more than that, it built a bridge between species, between worlds, and between hearts, a universe united by music as the Aurora's light and other human ships traveled the stars. The sound of heavy metal and its inspired creations continued to echo across galaxies. The music had become more than just sound. It was a language of courage, energy, and unity. Alien species who had once feared humanity now sang, played, and created alongside them. Conflicts that might have erupted into war were resolved with collaboration and performance. Trade, diplomacy, and education thrived in ways never imagined, and on Earth humans looked up at the stars with a newfound sense of pride. They had shown that creativity and courage could be just as powerful as weapons, that music could unite where diplomacy sometimes failed, and that even chaos, when guided, could become a force for good. The galaxy had learned one undeniable truth. Humanity was loud, bold, and unstoppable, but also capable of inspiring wonder. And somewhere, far beyond the light of known stars, the echoes of human heavy metal continued to ripple through space, carrying with it a promise that the children of Earth had not just reached for the stars, they had touched their hearts